Softpaw could touch with his own. He hadn't touched Half-Heart's mind yet. Softpaw usually waited at least a couple years or until the new pack member seemed settled before doing so. He wasn't sure if he'd ever met another shifter with telepathy, and his gift was not something he shared with too many. Some of the broken ones who came to his pack never learned of it. He used his instincts on whom to trust. Snowdrop bumped his shoulder again, less gently. Softpaw growled at her, but without any teeth in it, and turned his head so his nose caught the scent of the wind again. There. The smell so faint he thought he'd imagined it the first time around. Wood fire with a hint of chemical to it. Not a wildfire, for there would have been more sign in the birds and insects, which meant humans. Not far. It was time to move the pack. Too long, he said into Snowdrop's mind. He's usually back before dark. The sun was a red-orange disk on the horizon, staining the gray peaks in the distance the color of raw meat. Snowdrop lifted her head and scented the smoke, her mind feeding him worry and danger in the shape of shadowy men. Rouse the pack. Softpaw mind spoke to her. We will track our own. Half-Heart would likely have left little trail, but it didn't matter. With a heaviness settling in beside the feeling of dread in his belly, Softpaw turned his nose to the smoky wind again. His instincts were almost never wrong. He would find his wolf in the direction of the humans. He just hoped that he wouldn't find tragedy there as well. 1. It was a beautiful wedding. The ceremony was held out in the woods behind where the henhouse, Harper's mother's bed and breakfast, had stood before it was destroyed in the fight against my evil ex-boyfriend. Ezzy had insisted on it, wanting to bring a good memory back to a place where we all had so many good memories and cozy Sunday dinners together. Before I ruined everything. I shoved the thought away and swiped a tear from my cheek as I watched Ezzy walk down the grassy path to where Ulan, the huge red-haired druid, waited. Ulan had on a great kilt woven in shades of greens and browns. His beard was trimmed and his hair hung in heavy, deep red ringlets around his face, his dual-colored eyes shining with love as he watched Ezzy walk toward him. Ezzy wore a fitted, deep purple coat that swirled around his legs, looking more like he belonged in the Matrix than in the woods. His tooled boots were shined and his hair neatly combed and oiled. They had gotten the official documents done at the county courthouse 2 days before, but this was the real wedding. It was evident in my friend's eyes and on every face of the small group gathered to witness and celebrate. Alek squeezed my hand as we watched the priest, an owl shifter from the Nez Perce reservation who had once helped us bury Tess, begin the ceremony. Ulan held to old gods, and as far as I knew, Ezzy held to knowledge as his religion, but they wanted to be married by someone who knew the twins. The priest had helped raise them, from what I'd gleaned during the few conversations either twin would have about their history. 2 older women from the twins' tribe that Levi had introduced as cousins were present, seated in front. The rest of the attendants were myself, Alek, Bree and Kieran, Harper and Rosie, Vivian the town vet, and of course Levi and his wife, Junebug. Ezzy's student and my employee, Laura, was there as well. She had become one of the gang over the last 9 or so months. That hadn't stopped Bree from baking enough food for an army, and the delicious smells from the folding tables we had set up earlier warred with the scent of forest loam, grass drying in the sun, and the warm June breeze. Do you, Ulan Drui, take this man Ezekiel Chapowitz to have and to hold, to love and to cherish, in sickness and in health, for richer or poorer, for as long as you both shall live, the priest was saying. They left out honor and obey, Harper stage whispered to me from where she stood at my side. Her mother, Rosie, must have pinched her because Harper jumped a little but quieted down. I suppressed a grin. Ezzy and Ulan, who was known around town as Yosemite because of his red hair and mysterious ways as a man of the wilds, were not really the obeying type. They made it work, and I was on cloud 9 that they had, despite a long, rocky start and nearly getting killed a few times. Telling myself to stop thinking about death and destruction, I made it through the rest of the ceremony without crying too much. Then they were kissing and embracing, and Alek pulled me into his arms to join in on the fun while everyone was distracted. I kind of hoped he wouldn't ask me about marriage anytime soon. I wasn't sure how I felt about the institution, and we hadn't seemed to need it.